I don't know that I've ever really done one of these before, just like a sit down and yap video, but that's what we're getting today. I thought I would just sit down and yap for a bit. I was looking at my feed these last couple weeks and I saw a whole bunch of YouTubers that I'm sub to talking about their games of the year 2025. And while I haven't played like a ton of games in 2025, we have been streaming for the majority of it, right? So I thought, a little bit of a year in review here. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about mine as well. So yeah, um, I suppose I should start with an honorable mention real quick, which is of course going to be Expedition 33. I have this. You might notice I'm off center so that I can. Oh god, mirrored is hard. There's lots of room here for me to put a big nice graphic of whatever game happens to be being discussed right now. So my hand is probably behind a picture of Expedition 33 right now. Um, that's gonna be my honorable mention. I can't put it on the list like properly because I haven't actually finished it yet. We're still in what we just got to Act Two. I'm not gonna put any spoilers, but the end of Act One was like, okay, yeah, I can see where this game gets all its popularity from. It's been a great game so far. I'm definitely enjoying the combat. Looks great, but like it wasn't like game of the year material for me yet, but now I can see that there's a deeper story going on. I definitely I see it. I see it. I will say I've been having a lot of audio issues with it on stream. My computer seems like it should be able to handle this game, so I don't really know why I'm getting the audio issues that I am. They're not always debilitating, but sometimes they are. And it does break the immersion for me a little bit, not gonna lie. But it's been really good so far. So honorable mention to Expedition 33 here. All right, let's move right along to number five, which I've got as Dave the Diver. Dave the Diver is going to be my number five game of the year. These are mostly stuff that I've played on stream. I haven't played a whole lot of different games off stream, and those that I have are, for the most part, like games that are a fair bit older than that. So Dave the Diver, I generally I had a good time with it. There are a couple times when it felt a little bit slow, at least as far as a stream game is concerned. I'm sure if I was just chilling in my house, nobody watching me, right? It'd probably be an even better game for me. But even on stream, it was a pretty solid game. It was a cozy game. I think the characters all really carry that game. It's like mostly a character-driven game, and I think the characters do a good job of that. They're all funny, they all have good personalities. You can see some of the jokes coming just because you know the characters so well. I think that's great. Um, if I had to talk about something that I don't like so much about it, it's probably that there's a few mini games in there that just don't really feel super fleshed out. Like there's a lot of mini games in this game, which is fine because it's a mini game kind of game. But some of them are more fun than others, and it feels like some of them just exist to pad out the time a little bit, which I don't love. So that's my number five of the year, Dave the Diver. Very good game, love it. Moving on to my number four, this is the one strange one on the list, I think, or at least the strangest to me. Abiotic Factor. Abiotic Factor. I never played this one on stream, but I believe the full version of this game released either late last year or early this year, and it's fucking great. I love this game. I didn't play it on stream, but it is sort of a Half-Life 2 meets like survival crafting sort of game. There's an overarching story, you're going from one place to the next, but there's also these survival crafting elements. One thing I will say, play it with friends. Don't play this game solo. I've never played this game solo, but just playing the game with friends and thinking about what it would be like if I played it solo, just don't. Just play it with some of your friends. It makes the experience amazing. It's just it's like you're going through a facility that you've been trapped in, and you're just trying to find a way out, and every single idea that you come up with sort of gets you a little bit closer to your goal, but it doesn't actually get you out, right? And really, it's just carried by the implementation of the systems in the game, the unlocking stuff as you go, the ability to build a base in a game where you're traveling around a lot. It doesn't sound like that should work. Usually any sort of story-driven stuff and base building don't go very well together, but it does here because the map design on Abiotic Factor is just, it's amazing. It's one of those things where as you go from one area to the next, you'll often find, loopbacks and shortcuts and such. And it feels like the game does an excellent job of you finding one of those loopbacks and going, oh, we're here. Oh, shit. Right? There's all these extra different little hidden rooms and side rooms and such, and you'll come back around and you'll be like, how the fuck did we get back to our base? We were, we were way over there. How'd we get back here? And it feels very good. It never feels like you have to trek 3 miles down the road, and then as soon as you get down there, you fight 3 dudes, and oh, I'm bleeding, I gotta go back, and now you gotta run all the way back. It's usually like a very piecemeal successes, and you'll always be able to find that next little checkpoint that'll allow you to come back quicker. A tram system, or a ventilation duct, or even like various forms of teleportation, fast travel. It just works, and the enemies slowly get stronger, and they slowly introduce new mechanics. It never really feels stale, and for me, it's my number 4 of the year. All right, moving on to number 3. This might be a little bit surprising that it's this low down, considering how much I played it, but my number 3 of the year is Balatro. It technically didn't come out this year, but fuck it. It's the game that I played the most this year. It's going on here. It was basically the start of my channel, right? I streamed it basically every day back when I first started, and don't stream it quite as much anymore, but I still stream it like once a week, right? It's just like a super addicting card game, man. I don't know when, I don't think I need to sing the praises of Balatro and tell you what it's all about at this point. A lot of people know what this game is. It was Game of the Year, either last year or the year before that, I forget which. And it's just a great game. There's nothing more to say. With mods, without mods, it's got a good community. There's multiplayer now, if you're willing to go download that mod on PC. And it's for casuals and hardcore roguelike enjoyers alike. That's all there is to say about it. All right, moving on to number 2, and this is kind of a two-parter here. I've got Hollow Knight and Hollow Knight Silksong. Hollow Knight isn't exactly a new game, per se, but Silksong is. Silksong came out this year, and I thought I would go ahead and play Hollow Knight like a couple weeks before Silksong came out, because I had never played Hollow Knight before. And I really enjoyed Hollow Knight. It's a great Metroidvania game. It's classic. It's fucking textbook, right? Like right down the line. Great bosses, parkour sections, enemies that aren't too hard, but they can still be challenging when you're like not fighting the bosses, and then when you get to the end game, just like super challenging bosses. It's a great prequel to Silksong, which came out this year to very high praise, of course. I imagine a lot of people have heard about Silksong at this point, and it lived up to the hype, which is crazy because with how much hype there was for Hollow Knight, it's hard to live up to that. And I think that Silksong did a good job. It came out to, a very small amount of criticism in very small ways. Things like, it's harder now, maybe 1 or 2 things with movement tech that people didn't necessarily like, but I feel like people just got used to it. They got used to how it plays a little bit different, and there's nothing wrong with it. It is a harder game, I would wager. But it still stands on its own as an amazing game. I think it got Steam Game of the Year. Totally deserved. It's got like a deep lore to it, or so I'm told anyways. I don't I understand some of the surface level stuff. I'm not a lore expert, at least when it comes to this game, so I'm just gonna have to take people's word for that. But another check mark. Solid 9 out of 10 game for me. I'm not usually much of a Metroidvania fan either, so getting one that I enjoy, pretty good. And then finally, we have our number one game of the year. Maybe a little bit surprising, maybe not for people who have actually heard me yap on the channel before. Blueprints. Blueprints. Why did I point over here? Blueprints. It's mirrored, man. I'm telling you, it's hard to do. Blueprints. It's a game that, you know, honestly, it has like kind of mixed reviews. I went over on the Steam page. It's like 80% positive, 85% positive at best, maybe all time. I don't like I won't say I don't get it. I understand why people might not like this game, but I love this game. This is somewhat of a polarizing game just by its nature. It is a very open puzzle game. And there's like two kinds of puzzle games in my mind, right? There's the ones that put you in a box and tell you to solve something, right? These are your escape room style games. This is stuff like Baba Is You, right? Or the Talos Principle. Things like that. Even Portal. Portal's another classic example, right? You're literally put in a room and told to solve a puzzle. There's 1, 2, maybe 3 solutions to that puzzle, but like it's very clear what the confines of what you can work with are. That is not what Blueprints is. There are maybe some puzzles that are like that, but for the most part, half of the puzzle is figuring out where the puzzles are, right? It's being curious. It very much rewards curiosity, and it rewards it in special ways because nothing in the game prevents you from solving puzzles before you're allowed to, right? There's a few situations where you have to open certain doors to get to other puzzles, right? You might need certain parts which require that you solve other puzzles, but sometimes parts are just like in the dirt, like in the backyard or something. That's an example. I'm not trying to spoil anything for anyone, but like you can just find shit well ahead of time if you get lucky, or if you think that something looks suspicious and you try to go work with it. And yeah, it was suspicious. There was something you could interact with there. Congratulations, you found it. But also, you could also like browse through books, right? There's texts that you can read that give you a lot of hints about certain things as well. And you can solve these things traditionally by just being curious around the house and being given these clues that eventually, culminate in you being able to solve that puzzle the way the game expects you to. But the other thing is, it's thematically, it has a sort of when your curiosity is sated vibe to it. There's not really a set ending. There's quite a few times in the game where it'll give you a cutscene and you'll go, wow, that was a good game. Very nice, very nice. And then you realize there's another puzzle after it. And you're like, am I not done yet? Is there more? And yes, there is. There is more. I still haven't finished the game, but I'm like 100 hours in, so I think I can talk like I'm sort of an expert at this point. It just keeps going, man. You can choose when to stop, it's fine. Nobody's gonna blame you for it. But for some people, that's not good enough, right? Right? There's completionists, and if you're a completionist and also not super good at puzzles, or you prefer the type of puzzle where they give you clear constraints, you're probably not gonna like this game. As far as RNG concerns are, that's a very common thing, is that people are like, okay, yeah, but once I've figured out how to solve a puzzle, it's actually hard for me to do it because it is a roguelike puzzle game, and if I get unlucky, fuck me. I find that kind of falls a little bit flat for me as a criticism, because early on in the game, there's so many different puzzles that you're solving in parallel, that if you don't get to work on one of them, it doesn't really matter, just work on a different one, right? Like, yeah, you might not be able to work on that puzzle right now today because you got screwed by RNG or whatever, but you can work on one of the other 40 puzzles, right? Like, it never feels like you didn't do anything in a given day, or if you did do nothing in a given day, it's probably because you got screwed super early on and you could just click next day, right? You lost like 3 minutes of time. But yeah, once late game rolls around and you are only working on one or two puzzles, there's so many tools at your disposal to just not deal with RNG anymore. I mean, I swear, like occasionally something might happen where it's like, ah, damn, why couldn't I find it today? I re-rolled 60 times for the thing I wanted. But chances are you probably could have manipulated things more. I've personally been victim of that a couple times where you finish and you're like, shit, I could have done this and improved my odds a lot, and I probably would have found it, right? That's just the way it goes in this game, and I think the game's honestly just as well off with or without it. Genuinely an amazing game for me. Maybe not my favorite puzzle game of all time, but definitely my favorite game this year. And so that gets it its number one spot over here. Anyways, that's my top 5 games of the year, guys. I don't know how well this video will go over. I don't know if anyone gives a shit. But I thought I'd yap about it anyways. So that's really all I have to say. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.